imajollyroger here, and welcome to my first travel vlog. Yeah, I've been putting this off for a while, but because I have work outside of YouTube, so I've been trying to find the right time to edit all this stuff and find a way to compile all of this. So here's my first attempt at it, and hopefully I get to do more of these. And if you like what you saw, be sure to like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. So let's get into it. The reason why I went traveling was I went to the Sky Camp 2022 run by Dominic Sky. There, he and a bunch of other famous calisthenics experts share their knowledge through workshops and giving a little bit of tidbits for training, for nutrition, all that good stuff. I came because I want to meet like-minded people, and outside the US there is not much calisthenics stuff for adults. Basically, if you want to get into gymnastics in America, you have to do it when you were a kid. Otherwise, yeah, you're kind of sore out of luck. So I was really glad to see this kind of thing running around, and I want to take the opportunity and jump with 2 feet forward, or whatever the saying is. I'm not good at this stuff. So all in all, I really enjoyed my time there. I came across some really good people, and when I first got there, before I even got there, I had to get an Airbnb with a few people who ended up becoming my friends. And funny enough, all of them were coaches, and they're all within the same age range. So we had a good idea of our experiences, what we have known, what we shared, and we kind of came at the same point in our calisthenics career. I'm a little bit behind, but I've always had an interest in calisthenics and parkour and all that stuff. During the camp, we learned about the protocol when learning about calisthenics as an adult. In general, and this is one of the things that really stuck out to me. There are a lot of things that stuck out to me, and to this day I'm grateful for the experience. One of them that really stuck out to me, and it sounds really simple when you hear it, is that you want to really practice raw strength. It sounds really weird, especially if you're training calisthenics, but outside of it, what he was describing it as was there's 2 ways to approach calisthenics. Either do it fully, or you train it in isolation. And while you're training in isolation, you use strength protocols to complement the techniques that you're training. So example, if you're training for, let's say, a handstand, you want to find an exercise that mimics it the best, and that allows you to practice raw strength with it. And the one thing that is best for it is, well, one of the things that are best for it is the overhead press. And to this day, I like to look up a lot of stuff on Instagram for all these kind of interesting exercises that carry very well to calisthenics. Not a lot of people train to their body weight in overhead press. It's really rare unless you watch strongman competitions. So with that, it's something that really stuck to me. And especially since I took the training program and started in December, I think. I've been really training hard in getting my overhead press, basically my overall full body strength in order. So far it's been going pretty good, so it's something I've been really working towards. Now for the other things that I've learned, and it's something that I'm want to elaborate even further in the second part, is there's not one body composition that is pristine for calisthenics, or parkour for that matter. And I'll I guess preface this with whenever you see tutorial, and I'll talk about it in the second half, when you see a lot of tutorials, or you see Ninja Warrior in America, there's always the one guy that is really advanced in parkour and calisthenics and all that stuff, and he's usually shorter in stature. And when it comes to limb length, it's pretty normal, pretty average. And not to knock it, but is something that you see. Me, I'm quite the opposite of that. I'm 6'1", and I have a 80-inch reach. That's 6'8". So I have a 7-inch differential. And not to mention I have 37-inch legs. So there's some advantages for certain calisthenic skills, and there's disadvantages for everything else. So it's up to me to make do with what I have and see what I can do to expand on it. And I guess to wrap things up and to, provide a spoiler for the second part, but I will go into more detail. There isn't really much difference in skill, despite having different body compositions between even the coaches, because the coaches themselves have different body compositions themselves, and they're able to be at the top of their game when it comes to calisthenic strength, static strength, pulling, pushing strength, when it comes to dips, pull-ups, overhead presses, deadlifts, all that stuff. So it was really reassuring for me, especially as someone who's been trying to train calisthenics just purely on the technique of it and not with the raw strength. So it's very reassuring on what I've learned, and it really refocused my calisthenics pursuits. So I think with that, and I guess I could expand a little bit more on what I learned. Yeah, I mean, for the workshops, it was just like a lot of pull-ups, pull-up demonstrations, scapular demonstrations on how to train your scapula for pull-ups. A little tidbit that from Coach Ivan, who was my coach, Ivan Kachas, I think that's how it's pronounced, is that you need to have a strong scapula in order to perform the pull-up safely and securely. Otherwise, you're going to use your other muscles to compensate, and there's risk of injury if your scapula is too weak and you don't train it properly. And that goes into a lot of other skills like handstand, dips, overhead presses if you're not using your scapula properly, if you're not training your shoulder blades and your rotator cuffs properly. And there's a lot that goes into it. So that was a very, it was quite eye-opening, and I'm all the more grateful for learning about it. And with that, I will take it to part 2, and I'll delve deeper into what I mean by different body compositions.